Hi everyone, welcome back to the table. Today is a very special episode. I am joined by Katelynn,
Hello.
and my college roommates. We have Maddy
Hi there.
and Lauren.
Hello.
Very exciting, the girl squad today. You all know and love Katelynn, so we've met her before. But Maddy, do a quick little introduction here. Maddy's favorite food is chicken marsala. We met in college and we're roommates junior and senior year. And yeah, she is a dark chocolate kind of gal. And then Lauren, her favorite food is a toss-up between mac and cheese or chicken pot pie. And I also met her in college. We met freshman year, and then we're only roommates for like the last couple of months of senior year. And she loves her chocolate as dark as it gets.
Have you actually
That's
had
a
like
better.
the have you had like the 0% sugar like baker's chocolate?
I've had 98% or 97% cacao,
Oh.
and I still enjoyed it.
Oh, is
But I think
Shannon is she the one you mentioned when you told that story? Is this who I'm talking to?
Yes. Oh, I forgot that I mentioned it. I think it's
Ooh,
like
you're
way
a
back
legend
in our
here.
first episode.
Wow.
It was like I have
I'm
a friend
honored.
that likes her chocolate like it's a spoonful of cocoa powder.
Yeah, like straight cacao, right, Lauren?
Yeah, I don't know, like 80 like 7 is the sweet spot, but my boyfriend got me like 90-some% cacao, and I liked it. But I also drink my coffee black, so I like bitter things. But
Yeah, she's a psycho, is what we've determined.
Fair enough. Now you guys got me thinking about chicken pot pie now and it's the season for it. It's the season for
It is
pies.
the
Oh,
season.
absolutely.
It's November
it's so-
finally. Yay.
November. Where did the time go, really?
I know, right?
No idea. Honestly, it goes by. I feel like it goes by like when you're in it. It goes by really slow. At least this past this past month and a half has for me. But then when you look back at it, you're like, wow, it went by so fast.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. We're recording it for the audience. This is the day after Halloween. And obviously yesterday for us, the candy bracket went up. I went trick-or-treating with my cousin. This is Shannon. She got one Milky Way. One. You know why?
Really?
Because it's inferior to Kit Kat.
How many Kit Kats were there?
7.
It's just, it's more rare because it's more special.
Oh,
I think that's what it comes down to.
quiet you. And she got like 9 or 10 Reese's that she didn't want, so I got all of them. So you know what? There are the numbers for Craig. The like proportions have stayed wildly the same. Although for some reason there's far fewer Milky Ways.
Interesting. Yes, I will pass the news along. But yeah, so that's exciting though, going trick-or-treating. And we wrapped up our candy bracket last week, so now we're moving on to the more sort of wintry part of fall foods, I think, are on the mind. My mom was starting to plan for Thanksgiving, which is wild that that's already on the radar. Yeah.
It's my favorite holiday.
Me too.
If you haven't learned anything about me, I love food-related things, and the food holiday is, in fact, my favorite holiday.
That's fair. I just feel like it's a little less pressure than Christmas, but it still has some of the magic of Christmas. You know, you just you go and eat and be with family, but there's no added pressure of getting someone a gift or
Yeah,
making
it's
sure
like
it's
it's the
prepared.
family magic without the shopping.
Yes.
Yes.
I actually feel the opposite because we host a lot. So I feel like my mom and I, we cook for a feast. We have a huge Italian family. So I feel like we're definitely, I is on the timer with the turkey, the stuffing, the potatoes. I feel like, it could be also a stressful holiday, even though we're not doing, gifts per se. But I feel like when you're the host, like,
Yeah, that's fair.
you're on the clock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that
Yeah.
definitely makes
No,
sense.
I agree. Hosting can be stressful. And I think too, like, this doesn't necessarily relate to the food, but hosting, it's like getting the house ready. So, like, yeah, it is a little bit less stressful because you're not buying gifts, but you're still like cleaning the house and all that stuff. So I think it depends. Like, obviously, like if you're hosting Christmas, then it might be less stressful too, because like for Christmas you have to do the house, the food, and the gifts. Whereas like if you're going out for Christmas and you just need to focus on gifts, it might be less. But
Mhm.
hosting and cooking for a lot of people is a tough job. But if you really enjoy cooking, you probably would love it a lot more than somebody who might not like cooking as much.
Yeah. We're the family that hosts in my family, and I'm the weirdo who like loves that stuff. Like I will be the queen of dinner parties when I move out.
Oh, I love that.
You're all invited. I'll cook for anyone who walks in the door.
What
Oh,
would you
yeah.
make?
Is we do the whole thing. We have like maybe 10 to 15 people for Thanksgiving, so it's not ginormous. Like some people have well over 20 people, so we're a little bit smaller. So I like that. I don't mind, helping clean. It's not we have like an open plan house, so it's really easy for the most part. But I'm helping more with the cooking than I used to, but for the most part in my family it's too many cooks in the kitchen, and my mom and dad tell me to get the heck out and just help at the end. Like it's easier if I stay out of the way and like set the table and things like that. So one day I'll cook. I make a dessert and that's about it.
Lots of pies. Are we dessert people or Thanksgiving turkey dinner people? What do we look forward to the most?
I am both, but I look forward least to the actual turkey. I don't actually go for the turkey. I go for like the stuffing and the potatoes and the corn, and like the desserts that aren't pie. I don't really like pie, but I don't like dessert pies. I mean, but I'll just skip the turkey altogether.
The main star.
I know. But you know
But
what else is good is stovetop.
Yeah.
I also skip the turkey. I don't know what
God.
it is, but the taste of turkey, like roast turkey, I'm not like the biggest but like chicken. I love chicken,
It's
but
just
I'm
like
not
chicken but drier,
a
right?
turkey.
Oh my
I
goodness.
feel like it has a different taste. Like it
Yeah.
has a distinct turkey taste,
Mm-hmm.
whereas chicken it doesn't. But yeah, so I'm with you. I feel that.
I'm not alone. And I'm not vegan or vegetarian, but like I'm not a big meat person. Like
No,
I
me
usually
either.
I don't go for like meat. I don't like steak that much. I do like chicken and fish and stuff like that, but I'm not I'll go for the sides. I'll go for the carbs. That's where I'm at.
Oh,
Okay.
I have 3 C's to my diet: carbs, chicken, and cheese.
Carbs, chicken. Yep.
Literally.
Awesome. What an insane segue, by the way. That was amazing. So today I have the background as just like a table full of different cheeses. And it looks delicious, and I will share the image with you guys at the end of it.
Oh, please do.
It's delightful.
So I don't have like any sort of hook here. I don't know. Shannon, did you come up with the joke?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you guys hear that the cheese factory exploded?
What?
Debris was everywhere.
Thank you. You know what? That is exactly as cheesy as I hoped. So I guess that brings us right into welcome to the cheese episode.
Cheese episode.
Yeah, we're just calling it that. I have nothing to start off with besides like obviously the obvious like what's your favorite cheese, which I'm sure we'll get into. But yeah, this is just an episode about cheese. Welcome.
Wow. I'm pleasure to be here. Pleasure to be here.
Yes,
You
I'm
can-
so happy to be here.
You can tell how much we plan ahead for these episodes.
No,
'Cause-
it's great though. I've been enjoying listening to the podcast, so
Oh, you've been listening? Oh, thank you.
Of course, yeah.
It's been fun so far. And this is the first episode that's like not my friends or my crew, which is cool. So like it's like people I haven't talked to much before. I've talked to Lauren before, but like new people for me.
Mm.
And here I am talking way more than Shannon, who's here with her friends. Hi, Shannon.
No, you're all well and good. I think it's kind of fitting. I just took one of those personality tests for my work.
Mhm.
I think there's some training meeting coming up or something in the near future, but a lot of the questions were rank, are you more of a listener or a talker and that sort of thing. And then for all of them, I was like, listen, 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 listen. Yes, that is where I am comfortable. But yeah, also this is unrelated still, but that question reminded me, um, Lauren and Maddie have heard this story before, but there used to be this one of those icebreaker sort of activity games at my college where it was a blown up beach ball and there were questions written all over it.
Oh, yeah, I've played that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Where your
exactly.
thumb lands.
Exactly. You toss it, and then wherever your thumb lands, when you catch it, it's a question you have to answer. So there was one of those in the common room of one of our dorm buildings. So we were just reading some of the questions on there, having a kick out of it. And one of them said, "Are you a listener or a doctor?" And
The
then they
minute
crossed
you
out doctor and wrote talker over it.
the minute you said that question, Shannon, about your work, are you a listener or a talker? That was exactly what popped into my head, and I'm so glad that you told the story because it was so funny.
It's
Was
so
that
fun. So now,
someone?
just like for years, we'll go up to each other and be like, "You a doctor? You a doctor right now?"
Was that like someone misheard someone else while writing it down, or was that someone like seriously shading doctors? Like
Don't
doctors
know.
don't listen, because that's so funny.
We have no idea. We just came into the common room because that's where we used to hang out.
Mhm.
And the ball was just there. And we were just like, where is this ball? I mean, why is this ball here? Where did it come from? Like, what's going on?
That's great. I hope it's still there, and I hope people are still getting baffled by it.
I hope so too.
I don't regret not dorming. Like, I don't regret it at all, like, being home. But, man, I love hearing, like, the stories of people who, like, lived on campus and, like, the weird stuff they got into or that happened to them by no control of their own.
It's a fun time, you know?
A wild ride.
Yeah. Had some adventures, for sure.
For sure.
Oh, man. But, hey guys, so
Cheese.
there was this wheel of cheese, and, there was a guy showing it to his friend, and he lost hold of it and started rolling down a hill, and his friend was chasing after it, trying to grab it, and then, he didn't really want him to do that, so he just yelled, "Hey, that's nacho cheese!"
Shannon.
All right.
Oh
You're
my
fired,
god.
Shannon.
You're fired.
You're fired.
Get off your
No,
damn
that's okay.
podcast.
It's courtesy of my father. Sorry if I butchered the delivery, but
So to start off with, I guess, great starting question. What is y'all's favorite cheese if you had to pick one?
Ooh.
Mm,
I feel like that's a hard question. Like, cheese.
it's really hard.
Because I feel like if I'm honestly, my favorite cheese would be brie cheese. But if we're talking about what will get the job done, like what's best for a sandwich or, something like that, I think cheddar would probably be my favorite, like to get the job done, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's tough because I feel like there's a different cheese for different moments.
Agree.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
like a mac and cheese, like a smoked Gouda is sometimes really delicious in that, or like Parmesan or Romano cheese. But like if I'm gonna have bread and cheese, so my family is Portuguese and my grandparents immigrated from the Azores. So we like when we've gotten like the best cheese ever. And they have it like here too, but it's not as fresh there. But my favorite bread cheeses, it's called queijo São Miguel, so it's like St. Michael's cheese,
Mhm.
and it is just like when it's fresh, it's just like it's kind of got like that foot smell, but it's really got a really great like kind of crisp flavor, but it's not like, smacking you in the face. It's hard to describe it. It's just kind of got that aged, that like cheese flavor, and it's just really, really good with like a piece of like in a piece of bread with some butter. Like it's chef's kiss. So good. So maybe that would be my favorite cheese overall, but like it is tough between like cheese for like a cheese sauce, like in a mac and cheese, or like that sort of cheese. But
That sounds delightful. I would love to try some of that.
What about you, Shannon?
That is a good question. I think so. In general, I'm more of a cold cheese kind of person. I don't love like big globs of melty cheese unless it's a good tasting one. That's so vague, but it depends on the flavor of it. But I think in terms of cold cheese, a good like shredded mozzarella is nice. Or if you have one of those charcuterie boards and there's a cube of cheddar or of Colby Jack, those are always delightful as well.
Shannon just picked 3.
Yeah,
That's
really
fair.
avoided the question.
That's fair. Mine is, I think, an easy mozzarella.
A versatile cheese.
I'll put that on anything. It's great on pizza. It's great on like a cheese bread or like a bruschetta. It's good on its own. Like I've discovered recently, because I don't often go to the fancy cheese area. I buy like the sliced cheddar and call it a day. That they sell like mozzarella balls, like they're little, or pearls they call them. They're just little like grape-sized balls of mozzarella you buy in like a tub, and they're my new favorite snack.
It's so good.
Just cheese. And mozzarella, to me at least, it's like a very satisfying cheese in that like I could eat the entire log or container of cheese balls, but like just like 5 or 6 is like a perfect snack, and I'm like, I'm good. I feel better now.
Yeah. I also kind of like for like a snack. I like those. Do you guys know those Baby Bell cheeses? Like they come in like the little individually wrapped wedges. I don't know what kind of cheese that actually is, but like that with like some crackers is such a satisfying snack as well.
I've never had a Baby Bell.
I feel like they're slept on for sure.
They are.
I gotta try
Are you
one.
talking about the hard cheese that's in almost a sort of plastic wrapping, or the wedges that are a little bit softer?
The little wedges that are softer, but then they've got like the red cow on them. Like it's such a soft, but it's like a creamy cheese, but it's not like it's not as like spreadable as cream cheese, but it's still like creamy, kind of melts in your mouth a little. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
Yeah, I love the Swiss one. I usually would, for like a healthy snack, I would chop up red pepper and slap that Baby Bell cheese on, and then I would put everything bagel seasoning and have it as like a snack.
Ooh,
so good.
Sounds so good.
Everything bagel seasoning is also like, that's like a staple. Like I was like, that's a bagel thing. I'm not gonna have that. Then my family started buying it, and I will put that on anything.
Yeah, I'll put it on top of eggs too. Like I'll scramble up eggs with some cheddar cheese or pepper jack, and then I'll do everything bagel seasoning.
Oh, that sounds really good too.
Yeah.
I've only recently started putting cheese on my scrambled eggs. It's actually kind of, so my boyfriend Peter, his parents, they put cream cheese on their scrambled eggs, and I had never had this before until I went there. But you actually like when you kind of like, I mean, I like cream cheese in general, so like, I always slap a ton of cream cheese on my bagels whenever I have a bagel. But when you mix kind of like the cream cheese into like hot scrambled eggs, it gets kind of like melty, and it's actually like really good.
Do you mix it in after cooking or while it's in the pan?
After cooking. So it's like when it's hot, you kind of just will put like a slab or like a spoonful of it on top, and kind of just like gets a little melty. And I don't like mix it in like too much. I kind of still leave it on top, but like it's really good, especially if you've got other stuff in your scrambled eggs like peppers or something and onions and that sort of thing.
That sounds really good.
Yeah, that's super interesting. I've never heard that before. I've heard people put sour cream in their eggs, and while it's cooking, they'd scramble it up, or like creme fraiche or something, if you want to be Gordon
Interesting.
Ramsay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've never heard of cream cheese.
I hadn't either.
Have you
But-
seen the Gordon Ramsay method to scrambling eggs?
Yes,
I
I
have not.
have.
It's so extra.
Oh my god, my boyfriend Avery actually does it. He does on the heat, off the heat.
Oh, I
On the
tried
heat,
it
off
one
the
time
heat.
and I decided very quickly that it was not worth all the effort.
Oh my god,
For
they are
scrambled
really
eggs.
good. They are really good. However, I can do the same thing my way, and I don't have to be ridiculous and be on the heat, off the heat. So
I knew it was extra when he cooked eggs in a sauce pot, and I was like, no.
I know.
Yeah.
Don't put the
In the
pepper into the
saucepan,
end
yeah.
because it turns gray. And like, okay, if it's in a restaurant, I understand like the presentation part of it, but like I'm gonna be eating this 15 seconds after it's done cooking, so I will in fact put the pepper in whenever I want to.
Yeah.
It's just like eggs are so easy, and that's why I like eggs so much, because they're good
Mhm.
and they're easy, and it just makes eggs unnecessarily complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you enlighten me? Do you know more of the steps of what Gordon Ramsay did?
Yeah, if I remember it. So he uses a pot over a pan. And he starts with, I believe it was butter he starts with, so there's like a fat component. Usually I don't put butter or milk or anything in scrambled eggs, but that's what he does.
Okay.
And you like pre-mix the eggs so they're like mixed up. And then as they were in the pan, he would like mix them up as they were cooking, but he would take it off the fire, continue to mix it, and then like put it back on the fire, and then take it off the fire, and then put it on the fire, and as he was like continuing to like whip it. So it was like light and fluffy, which is great.
Yeah.
But it took him like 5 minutes longer than it would needed to when you just put it in a pan, leave it for a minute, and then fluff it up. But
Yeah, it had to get very aerated, and then he would salt and pepper after the fact because he didn't want to. I think it was darken the mixture. I don't know the correct term, but
yeah,
it
I think
does
it like
something.
discolored it, made it a little grayer, is what he said,
Yeah.
if I remember.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But Avery does that.
Wow. I mean, props to him if he wants to do it.
He really does. He really is extra with all of that.
Mhm. Hey, if it
But,
works and it's good, like that's fine. I like making my food look fancy, but I don't like cooking it fancy. Like I'll plate it as if like anyone cares, but as I cook it, it's just like if it gets cooked and it's not underdone and it's safe, it's good.
As long as it tastes good.
Yeah. I've gotten into like the fancy plating of food like recently for like doing stuff for Simmer, which is the aforementioned brand I made on Instagram. Because I've been taking pictures and videos for that, and the amount of like weird food B-roll I have, like I can only imagine like those that actually do it like as a full time, like how many videos you have on your phone or your camera of just like placing a cookie down on a plate and making sure the crumbs don't fall off too soon. Because like the amount of times I have to like clean off the plate to start over. It's so stupid. But it's been fun and makes me cook different foods rather than just like I had mac and cheese or like from a box mac and cheese again. Because, you know, everyone knows it's Velveeta when you look at Velveeta mac and cheese.
Or those little craft cups in college we would have all the time.
I found some easy Mac cups though that were better than just like craft. And because it like kind of like the Velveeta, it has like the I don't know how to call it other than like gooey.
The
like
cheese sludge.
Like when you open the package, yeah, it's that sludge. It's the Cracker Barrel cheese cups, and those like actually like across the board, like from the mac and cheese, like easy mac cups that I've tried, like those are the closest to like mac and cheese that doesn't taste like it came like from an instant package, because it's got like that tart like cheddar taste to it. Like it tastes like real, unlike Velveeta. So it's actually pretty good. As far as like, you know, like 3-minute mac and cheeses go, those got me through college. Sure.
Yeah.
We can cut this out, but my favorite mac and cheese story, I think you know the one. speaking of the Cracker Barrel mac and cheese that got Lauren through college,
Mhm.
I have to think of this story every time I see that product now or hear about it because it's just so hilarious. So, junior year of college, we were eating all together in the common room, and Lauren, I think, had bought sort of like half the ingredients for a fun mac and cheese. So, she went to the dining hall and got like chicken and broccoli, and then she was going to come back to the room and heat up some of that Cracker Barrel mac and cheese. So we all sit down, we're getting ready to eat. She goes, "Okay, I'll be right back. I gotta go make the mac and cheese." So we're sitting, we're eating. It's like 20 minutes, and then suddenly we realize Lauren has not returned. Where did Lauren go? And we look out the window, which was on the second story, so we could see right over the parking lot. And we look down, and Lauren is standing next to her boyfriend Peter's car, and they are making out. And we're all like, I wonder if that mac and cheese is
In my
going well.
defense, he was going home for the weekend, and it was gonna be a hot minute. But yes, I have no excuse. No excuse whatsoever.
That's okay.
Finally
That's
comes
great.
back with the cup of mac and cheese as if nothing happened, as if it was just a normal 2-minute microwave
It
session.
was a long 2 minutes.
You were all like, "How's your mac and cheese, Lauren? Was it good?
Was it
Did you
good?
like the mac and cheese?"
You know what's
Oh my
so
God.
amazing to this is there were a few times throughout college where Shannon and I got together and like recapped like a year of stories, and like we saw each other maybe once or twice a year, and then like COVID made it even less so.
Mhm.
And she told me this story. And it is amazing, like after the chocolate story mentioned and now this one, that I am meeting the legend of these stories. And she told me like no names or anything. It was just like part of the conversation. But I love now hearing it again with the context.
So I'm
That's
so sorry
great.
to
So
expose
funny.
you, Lauren, but it cracks me up every time I think.
Oh, it's so funny. I was definitely a little embarrassed at first, but now I look back and I'm like, that is hilarious. I too would have been cackling and like roasting, whoever. Uh,
Well, I love
but
how
yes,
food can bring us, these memories. We look at like one food item and now we have like dozen stories it relates to. So
but
that's
like that's the
awesome.
great thing about food, like to get a little bit serious off of that, but it's like that's the great thing about food is like the memories and like things that you attach to them and the comfort and the feelings. But yeah, like those funny stories, we're always gonna have those. And every time I have a Cracker Barrel mac and cheese, you're like,
Yeah, cackle a little bit.
Mm.
Yeah, or the
That's it.
scary times where my roommate tries to poison me with green tea. That was great.
I've heard that one too. That one was on the podcast.
That was have I told this already on the podcast? I think I have
It was, I
actually.
think, episode 1 when we were talking
Yeah.
about allergies.
Yes. You're absolutely right.
I remember
apologize.
listening to that and I'm like, oh, I'm famous.
Oh my god,
Oh,
this is
man.
Yeah,
amazing.
that green tea really a silent killer
Really, yes. It's
for me.
And you
man.
know what's amazing? At the time of you telling that story, I said like something along the lines of I was eating green tea mints. I'm eating them today.
Oh my god, stay away. Devil.
Well, it's a good thing we're multiple states apart.
Yes, yes.
Oh my God.
Or is it multiple? We're at least a state apart. Dude,
Yeah.
I'm trying to imagine.
Yeah.
How does New
It's
England
like
look?
2.
2, yeah. Do we touch New York?
Maybe
yeah, we do
upstate.
actually. We
Upstate.
share a border with upstate New York. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're at least a state-ish apart.
We're hours away from each other. It's fine.
I mean, going back a little bit to, Lauren saying that food stories are such a great way to connect people, and I absolutely agree. And I think it's so nice too now that I am no longer in college and no longer living with you guys that these stories and these foods still kind of transcend time and space. you can still look back on it and it's like, oh yeah, it's like I'm sitting in the common room when I tell that story, but I'm not. I'm in my bedroom sitting in front of a microphone and a laptop. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool too.
And now it's immortalized on the internet.
There you go.
Yes, there it
Exactly.
is.
To our 5 viewers, hello, Nana. I get she watches, like, as you know, as grandmothers do when you make something and you share it with them. She watches immediately after I post, which is so funny to me because I post at wildly inconsistent times. But like within an hour of me posting it, she'll send me a text regarding the podcast. And 2 weeks ago, she sided with Noah on the candy bracket.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, but he's her nickname for him is Noah Boy, which is, I think, adorable because how else do you nickname Noah? You cannot. But she's like,
no.
Of course Milky Way. I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, but he's my Noah Boy. And I'm like, and I'm your grandchild. And she was so tickled by that she called me to tell me how much I was wrong.
Wow. Dedicated.
Yeah.
Dedicated in a stance against yours.
Yeah. Oh God, my family would take Noah's side over mine any day. I say that with nothing but love. I'm not making fun of anybody. Mom, Nana, please don't. I'm sorry. I found a story about the boxed mac and cheese. It's not the one I was thinking of, but I have something. I was like the mac and cheese kid, as like a lot of us were probably. When you go to a restaurant, you get the kids menu, you get like the mac and cheese, which is silly because like it's Kraft and we could have made that at home, and now they're spending $9 on it instead of $3. And then one day I had a big bowl of it with my other grandmother. And the 2 days later after I had it, I got the stomach bug. And it was just down for the count for, I couldn't eat mac and cheese for like 4 years after that.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
Like,
You get stuck off one thing and you're done.
Yeah, like you have one thing, you get the stomach bug one time, and then like that food is now your enemy for however long amount of time. I still don't like Kraft. I don't like the powdered cheese ones. I'll take like the Velveeta, which is the cheese sludge. Neither is better for you, and I know Shannon's mom does not agree with me for that, and that's okay. But yeah, I can't eat like the powdered cheese ones as much. But those like snack cups, those hit different. Even if they're Kraft, they hit different. And like, I always called them like the baby food mac and cheese, just because like every time I saw someone eating those, they were like a young kid, and after that you like graduate to the box. Or I guess, and then you go to college and you're back at the cup. But
There's something comforting about it. I don't know.
There is, and it's so good. Like they're really good.
Well, unless Shannon had this contraption that you could cook boxed mac and cheese in the microwave.
What?
Yeah.
And we used to use that a lot.
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah, it's called the Rapid Mac Cooker.
Oh.
I almost feel like it was one of those Shark Tank sort of products, or
Sounds
something
like
that you're walking by in a Best Buy and you're like, that can't possibly work, and then you buy it to try it. But yeah, it's like a square-shaped blue bowl, pretty deep, and then it's like a giant mac and cheese cup sort of instruction. So it has a line on the inside that you fill with water, and then you put it in the microwave for 2.5 minutes, and then you stir it, and you put it back in for another 2.5 minutes, and it comes out, it's cooked. Like it's al dente, and it's maybe not as good as, actually definitely not as good as a stovetop or homemade, but it gets the job done. It was certainly nice and
for what it was.
Nice. Yeah.
For what it was, it came out pretty good.
Yeah,
like,
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Still make it that way sometimes if I want a little easier way of doing it.
I love those like kitchen gadget things, and like I actively avoid buying them because I don't have the space to store them. They're just gonna go in the kitchen box in the shed. But like they're so fun, but some of them are so weird to me. Like, have you seen the amount of like cook an egg in the microwave like doohickeys when like you can just put an egg in a mug and cook it in the microwave and it would do the same thing.
Yeah,
I'm guilty of purchasing such an egg cooker.
That hey, like they're advertised well.
Like an egg poacher.
Does
Yeah.
it work? Oh, wait, I remember that.
I probably used it like one time.
Yes.
And then I would cook it in the frying pan because I don't know, it tasted weird. Whenever you would cook it in that thing, I feel like they don't really work because then you just get this plasticky, like burnt plasticky taste to the egg.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. I think we did try it together once. Didn't it make sort of like a hard-boiled egg?
It made like a hard-boiled egg accidentally. Yeah, that's exactly what it did. I think it was user error. I think it was user error. I will be honest with you.
Yeah, like it might have been cooked too long. Like that's why it like the yolk cooked all the way through or something like that. Yeah, I mean, I do remember you making it one time.
And that was the last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had one or two like throughout the years. Like we have like the little, like the one that's supposed to like make like a little fried egg disc for like a sandwich, and then one that's just to like cook it like a scrambled egg. But it always like microwaved eggs just aren't the right ones. They're just
they're not good. They never pan out right.
I don't mind them. Like they're obviously not as good as making it, in the pan, but like when you're in a crunch, but like maybe it's because I usually put them in like porcelain or glass bowls so I don't get the plasticky taste, but
maybe that's the difference.
And I only cook them for about 45 seconds, so it's still like slightly runny in this where the yolk is, and it's good, but it's definitely not as good obviously as making it in the pan. But like when you don't have a lot of time, you're like, damn, I really want an egg sandwich right now. Like I feel like they hit, so they do the job, and sometimes they hit because you're just like, oh, I want an egg sandwich. But yeah.
Maybe that's the move. I see a lot of people on TikTok making those mason jar like egg scrambles. So they'll chop up vegetables and like meal prep everything and then crack the egg in the morning, scramble it up, and then mic it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if it's worth it though.
Yeah, I can see
you
it.
might have to try it,
but I don't know.
I'm gonna have to.
Science.
I'll let you know.
What was that, Shannon?
I can see it being a time saver, but I don't know how tasty it is.
Yeah. My honest, like, the only thing I have with that is, like, eating eggs out of a jar. And, like, there's nothing wrong with it, but, like, it seems like one of those things that, like, hits different. Like, like, spooning it out of a jar with a fork. Like, I would probably still pour, like, I would cut up in a portion out, like, the cheese and the veggies, and still pour it into a pan with eggs, and then eat it out on a plate. But, yeah, I don't know. I it's such a weird thing to, like, point out, but, like, it's so hard to, like, scoop up eggs, especially scrambled eggs, because it starts to break apart into tiny little pieces, and I'm just, like, scooping it out of a cup.
Yeah.
We use mason jars as cups in my house, too, so, like, there's that, too. That's, like, a drinking glass in my house.
Right.
Yeah,
like,
we do that, too.
There's, like, it's such a cheap way to have, like, 15 cups. They're, like, $1 each if you buy a pack of them. They're great.
Yeah, and we eat a lot of, like, Smuckers, like, strawberry jam and stuff, so those little ones are actually really good for, like, smaller cups.
I've started saving a few here and there, and I plan to in the future when I move out, too. Because I want to, like, make a pickling corner in my basement. I think Shannon's heard about this, the pickle corner.
The pickle corner.
We have,
it has a nice ring to it, but it's so strange.
Wrong
just
sounding.
Like walk into someone's house and go, "This is the pickle corner."
Yeah, like they make like the giant jars that my dad uses, and I'll probably save those too. But like for pickling, for like making jerky, get like a dehydrator or something like that. Like a mini fridge for like things that need to like stay for a while before you can enjoy them. As well as like it's really easy to make like simple wine or mead, and it's really good. So I'd like to try doing that as well. So like I've also been saving those jars for that reason. But yeah, egg in a jar. Interesting.
Nice.
We're gonna have to change the name of this episode. It's the egg episode.
The egg episode.
We've talked more about eggs than cheese. I'll just name it eggs and cheese, the breakfast episode.
And cheese.
Then
There you go.
cheese.
And there
That's
we
a good
go.
one. Yeah.
What costume does cheese wear on Halloween?
Oh my god.
What?
It dresses up like a monster.
Oh my god. Where are you getting these?
I love that one.
Who
That's pretty
still
good.
eats monster cheese though? Like I don't know anybody who just eats that.
I
Type
don't
of
know of
cheese
anyone either,
daily.
to be perfectly honest.
I've put it in a mac and cheese before, and that's about it.
Really?
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
I haven't done it more than once because it was a bit too strong. But I actually also don't love homemade mac and cheese, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. But I think it tastes more like milk, and I like the really strong, albeit synthetic, like cheese flavor of like box mac and cheese. Like it's fine. Baked mac and cheese, especially with like the breadcrumbs on top, are great. For how much I like it, I never find it worth the effort or money because it's always expensive. Because, you know, fancy
Yeah.
cheeses.
Yeah. I mean, my mom has a really good recipe that I just so far like nothing really beats, and it's like it's mostly like there is I think a little bit of milk in the sauce, but it's not like milk. It's more so the cheese, and it's those like Italian cheeses like the Parmesan, Romano,
Mm-hmm.
cheeses, so you really taste like that taste of the cheese. But it's not like overpowering, of course, because those cheeses I don't think are too like strong necessarily, but I get what you mean. Like I don't want it to taste like milk. I want it to taste like cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I still think homemade mac and cheese is still superior in my humble opinion. I don't know, there's something about like the creamy, like the creaminess, the stretch, like, and when it's baked and the top pieces get a little like that brown sort of like crustiness, for lack of a better word. Like it's
Oh
just
yeah,
Yeah.
like that crunchy,
Oh,
bite.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you get the crunchy bite with like the cream, like maybe creamy is the wrong word, but the gooey sauce is just, it's heaven in your mouth.
Yeah. I really love my grandmother's homemade mac and cheese. She actually puts canned tomatoes in hers, so it's American cheese, canned tomatoes, and milk.
Oh.
It's
Your
actually
gra- No, your
yeah.
grandma's mac and cheese is so good.
Oh well, that one time. Oh my gosh! So one time, Lauren and Shannon came over my house, and my grandmother made mac and cheese, and I had been hyping this mac and cheese up for like weeks. I tell you, weeks. And so she puts the canned tomatoes in. However, this one time, she put Rotel in, which has jalapenos in it.
Yeah. Yep.
And she didn't realize, and we're eating it, and we're like, why is my mouth on fire?
Why is it spicy?
And we're all like red, everybody at the table, my little brothers, Lauren,
No.
Shannon, everybody were like, oh my god, we can't eat this.
It was
Aw.
spicy, but it was still so good though.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
the
I will
cheese
tell her
actually
you said
balanced
that.
out some of the spices. I did really enjoy it. I still think it was so good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was one of those happy accidents. Like, that's not the
Yeah.
flavor we were expecting, but it was still quite good.
Yeah,
it was quite good.
It sounds
You know,
interesting.
yeah, I really like the tomatoes in it. I feel like it adds a little sweetness, and it's something, fun and fresh. I don't know, I like it.
Yeah.
It must be a nice, rich, like, color afterward, too. Because you
Oh,
add,
for
like,
sure,
to that,
yeah.
like a deeper orange color. That's, like the premium color of mac and cheese.
Yeah, it's
and
really good.
and I didn't notice the tomatoes too much too, because they really do kind of get like, soft and like kind of mix in with the sauce. So it doesn't like, it's not like overly like, oh my god, it's mac and cheese with chopped tomatoes in it. It's more like the tomatoes really do get lost in the sauce, for lack of a better way to say it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Eileen, that's my grandmother, she loves cheese, so she really packs it in. It's
Nice.
very cheesy mac and cheese.
Yes,
Thank
even
you,
I,
Eileen.
who we all know my stance on raw tomatoes, enjoyed it with the pieces of tomatoes.
That's fair. Kind of speaking of the Rotel stuff, it's like my mom uses that a lot to make like queso, like for like game days
Yeah.
and stuff like that. You mix it with the Velveeta. But I recently realized that Velveeta makes a cheese, like, because Velveeta sells the cheese like by the brick as well. It has jalapenos in it, and I was like, that's interesting. And I tried it, and I made like a queso with it. I just like made like a quick roux, and I melted it in there. I added some cream cheese and some like dried spice that I made out of my mom's peppers, and it was so good. And like, yeah, it's Velveeta, so it's like mostly just cheese flavored gelatin, and it's weird because that cheese log bounces when you drop it. It's such a weird texture. It's a horrible texture when you like cut the log apart because it's like kind of bouncy. It feels like a rubber bouncy ball, but it's like really soft and smooth, not like cheeses. But it's like somewhat cheese. It's like, I think it's like the one of those that's like it's 51% cheese, so they can call it cheese even though it's barely cheese. But it was so good, and it lasted, like, it didn't like congeal too fast, which like a lot of like other cheeses will do. But jalapenos and cheese are a great combo. Like jalapeno poppers too with like cream cheese. Although people on TikTok need to chill with the cream cheese. You don't have to put a brick of cream cheese in everything. Like, it doesn't need to go in mashed potatoes. Doesn't need to go in like your stews or stuff like that. Like, chill with the cream cheese. There's so much.
You know what I actually did enjoy with the block of cheese on TikTok was that feta pasta challenge.
I haven't tried it, but it looked amazing.
Oh my god, that was so good.
Yeah, can you describe that?
Yeah, so it was you take a casserole dish and then you put 2 blocks of feta and then you pour around dry pasta and then you have like your roasted tomatoes, your garlic. I've seen people do basil, and then you pour milk and you bake it in the oven. And then it comes out perfectly cooked pasta, and you mix it all in, and it's delicious.
Yeah, and it actually made a sauce too, like kind of from like because the tomatoes get all like
they get soft
like, they get all
and
soft, yeah, and then like you mix it all together, like like obviously there were still some chunks of tomatoes, but it added, and it was really good.
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
I have to try that. It seems incredibly bad for you, with it being like 50% cheese, which is absolutely not. I'm still gonna try it. I've never seen like a recipe that like melts feta like that. Usually like feta is a topping where it's like cold and it's a very dry, crumbly cheese. But a recipe that actually is like based off of like melting it up is really interesting. I saw. Does anyone watch Ghost Honey on TikTok, or they know of him?
Heard the account name before.
Okay. He's really sweet, funny, like guy on TikTok, and he posts a lot about like his life and his plants and stuff like that. And he made like a brie pasta, and he used an entire wheel of brie to make this pasta dish, which and it had like the tomato and basil, and like the not rotini pastas, but like the one that's like a squirrely like tube pasta. That's like the most like photogenic pasta noodle in my opinion, and it looked amazing. And I would like to try that as well as the feta one. Is it really TikTok really just making a bunch of fancy mac and cheeses? Because that's what it is. It's just pasta and cheese.
Or when they make the pasta in the cheese, or they like put it in a carved out wheel of cheese. I've seen that a lot too.
Yeah, I've seen that
and they serve it in that.
Wild.
You know,
every time I see those videos, I can't help but watch it all the way through.
I know, they're
like,
so satisfying.
Such an inconvenient way to cook this item. Like, I need to know if this works.
Yeah. And like, I watch so many recipe videos on TikTok. I hate using a video when I actually cook, but I will watch them for fun. But when I actually cook, I'll go to like the blog post or whatever, because I hate like scrolling around the video when I'm cooking.
Yeah.
But just for fun, I will watch all of those. You know what I'm surprised they don't do? Is do more mac and cheese in a bread bowl. I feel like you could put it in a bread bowl. It'd be pretty good.
That would be good.
It'd be heavy as heck, but
Yeah.
Lauren's like, I love it. It's my
I get
carbs and my
balls.
cheese.
It's my carbs and my cheese in one place. Like
Yeah.
that's heaven, right?
It's got all your
yes.
fat and your
Just throw
carbs,
some
none of your
chicken in it.
protein.
Yes.
Hey, throw some chicken in it. There you
There
go.
you go, balanced meal.
Absolutely.
They used to have, Shannon and I used to get this, like they had like a fettuccine in a bread bowl that they used to sell at Domino's Pizza, and it, like, by bread bowl I mean like basically their pizza crust, so it was super garlicky, and it was the best thing, and they don't make it anymore, and one day I will set out on the quest to recreate it.
Oh, good. It was so dense, but you just
We split
was
it a couple
worth it.
times, like it comes in like a pizza box, like it's huge, and we would just like go to the park that was next to it and just eat it. That was the same place. There was a Pizza Planet that opened up there for a while, which was fun. Like an actual like pizza place called Pizza Planet, which, like, I mean, obviously like Toy Story is what we thought of, and we went, and it was good pizza, but like that place on that street gets no business no matter what is there. So it's already closed down since we've been there. But every business I've seen there closes down, which is hysterical because, like, not hysterical, ironic, because the business right next to it is a like charity thrift store that has been there for 25 years.
Oh man.
Yeah, they all want their charity antiques, but none of the pizza or subs. But rest in peace, Pizza Planet. You were pretty good that one time.
Peace, Pizza Planet.
Rest in pizza. Oh, that's a great segue. What is your favorite cheese to put on pizza? Predictably, mine is still mozzarella.
Ooh. Okay, I really like mozzarella. This is gonna sound a little bougie, but I like those 4 cheese blends.
Mm-hmm. Oh, blends
when
are
it's not
absolutely
just
applicable here too.
Yeah, like I definitely need something with mozzarella to give it that stretch. But lately I've also tried putting ricotta on the
Yeah.
pizza.
Ooh.
Like not like mixing it in with the other cheese to make a blend, but like having just like chunks of ricotta on top as like more like a topping. And that is also really good with, like red or green peppers and chicken and stuff like that. And that is really good. But yeah, like definitely like a multiple cheese blend for like the cheese base. Like, like mozzarella or like Italian cheeses would be really good on pizza.
That
Yeah.
sounds really good.
I'm really into like a white pie. So
Mhm.
I've also recently had a ricotta pizza. So it was ricotta, prosciutto, and figs.
Ooh,
It was
Interesting.
it was so
that sounds
good.
so Italian.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it was so good. And then there was some arugula on top. It was phenomenal. So I support the ricotta on pizza.
Nice. Speaking of
Wow.
like food memories, real quick, one of Noah's friends read arugula as argula once, and now every time someone says arugula, I'm like, argula?
Oh boy.
Nate, you're
So
not
funny.
listening to it, but that story was great.
Oh, man.
Sorry, Shannon.
No, you're good. I love mispronounced words like that just stick around. But yeah, I think I may be the unpopular opinion here. I'm not a huge fan of ricotta. I don't know. Just doesn't really hit me. I think I encounter it most often inside of pasta. Is that right? It's usually in ravioli.
Yeah.
That or lasagna.
Yep.
Yeah, I just like expect it to have more flavor and a texture that's not that, and it doesn't. So
Fair enough.
it's not my favorite.
Have you ever had it alone, like out of the container?
I don't think so.
It's
And it
like
doesn't really
almost
tempt me.
sweet. It's really good. It's super mild.
Interesting. Okay, maybe I'll give that a try. But in terms of on top of my pizza, I think I'm also a mozzarella gal. I think if that's on there, it's the most likely that I will enjoy it on top of the pizza.
Mhm.
I can't tell you what is the type of cheese that they use at like generic insert house of pizza place where it's like a mass of yellow kind of burnt cheese that comes off in a single slab and tastes like nothing.
My guess is it's American and cheddar.
You think? That would make sense.
I think so. There might be mozzarella in there as well because of the stretch that you do get, but the amount, like, I've never made a homemade pizza where the cheese melts together into one solid slab like every pizza place I've ever been to.
Right?
Like, they load it with cheese if that's the case.
Is it the amount of cheese or the way that they cook it?
Ooh, good question. I don't have a pizza oven, so I don't know.
Don't know.
Yeah, I
either.
don't know.
Because, like, it is unique how pizza places, especially like you said, insert generic House of Pizza type thing. Like, not like any sort of like fancy, like Bertucci's or fancier type pizza places. That it all melts together so solidly.
Mm-hmm. Like that, to not answer your question, but also answer your question,
No, it's
is
fine.
my least favorite
Yeah,
cheese on top of pizza.
yeah.
I don't know
'Cause
what
you
it is,
used to
and
peel
I
it
do not
off and
like
give
it.
it to me.
Exactly.
Yeah. I like also like margarita pizzas, which are basically like the basil or pesto with tomatoes and just like slabs of mozzarella on like a flat bread is really good. With like the
Yes.
balsamic on the top.
Yes.
I make that at home every now and then. It's really good. But I have yet to master like the crunchy thin crust pizza. Because I always like pre-bake the crust, but then once I put like the pesto cheese and tomatoes on it and it comes out, the crust is soggy again. So I have yet to like figure out how to get that like really crispy, like can hold itself up kind of pizza dough. But I've also just done it on top of like a loaf of bread sliced the long way, which I know at that point becomes essentially bruschetta. Like it's not a pizza, but I've done it that way as well.
Do you have a pizza stone?
I don't, but I should get one. Would that help?
Yeah, I think it would really help because we
Okay.
do a pizza stone and it's got a crispy bottom. So
Okay, I'll look into that.
Yeah.
They're not super expensive, so I don't know why I haven't gotten one.
yeah, they're not too bad, and you can get smaller ones too. You don't have to get. We have a full size at my house because we make a lot of pizzas and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But you can get smaller if you're gonna do like a little smaller pizza or like a calzone. Is fun.
Okay, I'll thank
So
you.
they make different sizes. Yeah, I would try a pizza stone.
I'll put that on my Christmas list.
Oh yeah.
My mom is now asking me what I want for Christmas. I'm like, I don't know. I want things all the time until you ask me what my Christmas list is, and then suddenly I want nothing.
I hate when that happens.
I should like start like a note in my phone of like, hey, this is a thing I might have wanted that one time. It's like June. Like, I wanted this.
Add pizza stone to the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, had a thought and I lost it on something that was said about the pizza. God, it's not my day. For a lot of reasons
That's
that I've
okay.
already complained about before recording with Shannon, it's not my day. Shoot.
Well, I mean, speaking of Christmas,
Mm.
what did the spirits of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol say about cheese?
What, Shannon?
Get it out of here! I'm lactose intolerant.
God. Where do you
like
find
a
these
good
online?
like a good mozzarella pizza? That was a stretch.
I was laughing more at the segue. That was just so funny. Speaking of Christmas,
Yeah, right.
that was more funny.
That one was an extra stretch because the original one is about Halloween, but we're past talking about Halloween, so I had to
So you switched
modify
it
it.
up.
I spiced it up.
That's good though.
I mean, what's a cheese
Smooth.
episode without cheesy jokes?
Mm.
This
That's
is
the
great.
only thing I prepared for this.
You're gonna have a corn episode with corny jokes.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yes.
My friend and I say my friend Nathan, he was on this podcast before. He was on the video game one. He and I used to like have basically pun battles in text because we're very exciting people. So we would text and just it would be a pun every line, and we did it with cheeses, and we got like a 20-minute conversation out of it.
Wow.
And that
Wow.
translated into when I go grocery shopping with my mom, I will make as many puns as I can holding up food.
That's impressive.
And
I love
it is
that.
until like I start reusing them. Like you run out eventually. But
Yeah.
she's like, how do you keep coming up with these? I'm like, first of all, the internet. Second of all, I'm hysterical. And I always get the eye roll. But I did remember what I was going to ask about. And what is your opinion of like cheese desserts? Like it's very popular in Italian desserts, obviously like a cannoli or something like that. But yeah, what do you guys think of that?
Actually, not had a lot of cheese desserts aside from cheesecake. I think I would
Mhm.
sell my soul for cheesecake, but like other than that, I really haven't, expanded, my horizons into the realm of cheese desserts.
Mhm.
But I should get on that because it's probably amazing. But yeah.
Fair enough. I'm okay with cheesecake. There are some that I think are very good, and like most of them are from the Cheesecake Factory, which is like 99% sugar and the rest is cheese. But it has to be like a really good cheesecake, and it has to be a really small slice. Like after a while, it's just like way too much cheese.
Yeah, they're very
Oh,
thick.
I don't know. I love it. Especially if it's like a chocolate cheesecake,
Mhm.
then that's it. Sold. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I like, buying a cheesecake. Recently for Avery, my boyfriend's birthday, we made a cheesecake, and that process is daunting.
Mhm.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know if you guys realize you have to, bake the cheesecake in a water bath
Yep.
for 30 minutes, and then you have to, crack the oven with it off and let it sit for 30 minutes. Then you take it out, let it cool, and then you have your anxiety test when you take the pan,
Get the springform pan off
get
of
the
it.
springform pan off, and you have like an anxiety attack. We made a lemon blueberry cheesecake. It was actually, it came out good, but that process would never do again.
Yeah.
Granted, we
It's
started at like
hard.
10 o'clock at night, but
Oh no.
it's a lot of work to make a cheesecake.
It is. Shannon, have you ever tried like cheesecake or like a cannoli? I know you said you didn't like ricotta, which is like mostly what a cannoli is made from, but that's why I suggested trying it alone because it's very sweet.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of cannolis. I've had them a
Mhm.
couple of times. It's almost, I bite into it and I expect it to be sweeter than it is. And I am used to, and I think I prefer sweeter type desserts. So it's a little disappointing when I bite into it.
Fair enough.
So I think that's why I lean against cheese desserts in general. But cheesecake, I do enjoy. I'm kind of with Katelynn where it can't be too big of a slice, but
Mhm.
yeah, there's some good ones. That lemon blueberry sounds delightful. There's one at the Cheesecake Factory. It's like a Reese's peanut butter cup one,
Mhm.
and it
I'm
has
scared of that
a
one.
cheesecake layer as well as a layer of chocolate cake in it, and that, my goodness, it's so good.
My favorite's
Uh,
the Oreo one. The Oreo like Supreme or whatever. They put like a giant Oreo on top of it. So good. That's 3 meals for me. Like I eat like a third of it each sitting
yes,
because it's so heavy.
you break it up, but you get through it.
Yeah. I've made cannolis from scratch before with my boyfriend, and like just desserts with cheese in it are so complicated. Like there's so many steps, and like you have to like. Thankfully, you don't like bake the filling, so you don't have to like do the crack the oven thing. But there's so many steps.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
I do actually have one more question that I think hopefully will not turn into a giant debate because I have a polarizing opinion. Here's my hot take of the week. What do you think of cheese flavored snacks? Like
Yes.
Love it.
Cheetos / like
Yes.
cheddar
Love it.
popcorn.
Yes.
Love it. Yes.
Hate them.
Oh
Oh.
I can't take. I don't like
No.
Cheez-Its. I don't like Goldfish. I don't like Cheetos. I like Cheetos, like just the regular Cheetos, or maybe the hot ones. I don't like the puffs, and I can't tell you why. Also, like the like smart food popcorn. That, how dare you call that cheddar? That tastes like chalk.
Stop it. It's not
love
my
it.
favorite, but it's so good.
And it's one of those things, like, I totally get why people love it, but oh my god, I can't. It's so silly. Like, I hate most snack foods, and it's so annoying because, like, whenever I want a little snack, I'm like, here I am eating mozzarella balls as a snack because I don't like pretzels or goldfish, but...
That's
probably
surprising
better
to me
for you.
because that's kind of surprising to me because, like you said that you really like the artificial cheese taste for like boxed mac and cheese.
Right?
So you would think you would like the artificial cheese taste of a cheese cracker, but like no.
Yeah. I'm as baffled as you are. And like honestly, it's I don't even like feel so strongly that like how like I can't understand why people like them. I totally understand why people like them. I'm sad I don't. Like, I feel like I'm missing out. But yeah, Cheetos is the only one that I will eat. And I think, like, the Cheetos Puffs and the Smart Food have, like... I have, like, a particular hate for them because of, like, the sludge they create in your mouth. If you ever watched someone who chews with their mouth open eating one of those snacks, it's disgusting.
Oh.
Just
Doesn't sound enjoyable, but I also don't purposely do that.
You definitely don't. If it's ever happened, you are not the one that chewed with your mouth open with like Smart Food sludge, but it makes such a terrible texture in your mouth afterward. But yeah, I don't like cheese snacks, but I see why. I also like those like cheese crackers that have like the horribly orange cheese. I don't like those either, which is also the same synthetic cheese that probably goes in a Kraft mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Maybe I just like it sauce form instead of crispy form. I don't know.
But I liquefy it and it's all.
Yeah. My brother loves the Cheez-Its though, so we always have Cheez-Its in the house, and he's like here's the cheese and jalapenos are really a match made in heaven. The jalapeno is his favorite flavor. But yeah.
Wow.
Glad I asked that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, that's off your chest now, out in the world. It seems like the three of us disagree.
I hate cheese snacks, and I'm proud. Except Cheetos, which is funny because Cheetos are like one of my favorite snack foods, even though it's the same fake cheese.
Wait, so apparently Cheetos has mac and cheese. I've been getting those ads on Spotify all the time about the Cheetos mac, and I'm just like, do any of you know? Has anyone tried it yet?
I have seen it. I actually saw a video by someone who actually is a Stardew Valley YouTuber, funny enough. They tried every boxed mac and cheese. And the ironic winner of that was instant mashed potatoes. So it shows you how that went.
Oh boy.
Oh god.
Boxed mac and cheese tournament, the winner was instant potatoes. But they tried it, and their opinions were very conflicted. Like, it wasn't good, but it wasn't bad, and they don't know how to feel about it, and they would never have it again, but also have nothing bad to say. It was very complex.
Okay. Interesting.
I have seen it, though. And it's like, it's not just like orange like you would expect. It's like they have like a cheesy garlic flavor or something like that. Like they're flavored, which I wouldn't have expected.
Interesting.
Also, many cursed TikToks I've come into where people like put like Cheetos in a pot of water and they like turn it into a goo and then put that on pasta and call it a meal. Have you ever seen videos like adjacent to those?
No, I have not.
No.
Good. Don't.
It's like a bad idea.
Yeah. It's like I see it a lot through like other people reacting to them. Like I follow a lot of like chefs on TikTok and stuff like that, like reacting to like these horrible creations that people make. But yeah, people like just like I said last week with like people do terrible things to chocolate, people do terrible things to cheese or Cheetos in this case. But yeah. I'm intrigued to try like the actual mac and cheese because I feel like it's one of those things that needs to be tried. Maybe only once.
If you ever try it for science, I would like to know how it went.
I will see. And they make the snack cup versions. So they
Yes,
they have the cups.
Cheetos on the go.
Mm-hmm.
They also make mac and cheese ice cream, which I don't know how to feel about.
What?
I've seen
No.
Kraft makes a mac and cheese ice cream.
Oh no.
I've
That
seen.
feels
think it-
sacrilegious.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
why, but it feels wrong.
Yeah, I've seen that for a brief time, like over the summer, and then it was magically gone. So I don't think it panned out well for Kraft.
They make a cheese flavored dog ice cream, which is interesting. But I've never seen like the human version. I bought it for my dog. He hated it. I wasted $8.
Oh man. See, I'm less offended by the dog ice cream and more offended by the human ice cream.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't want to consume that.
Yeah.
I really wonder if their thought process was, hey, dogs like this. People enjoy cheese. Let's try it for people.
Or let's try it frozen.
Yeah.
That'd
Like,
be great.
cheese is a universally, like, amongst those that can eat cheese, like those that aren't, like, lactose intolerant, or those that aren't in denial about being lactose intolerant, like, cheese is pretty universally loved. It doesn't mean you have to put it in or on everything. Like, it has its place. It is loved where it belongs, and it does not belong in ice cream.
No.
Because, like, ice cream is already a dairy product. Like, all you've done is just churned it too far and aged it. Like, it is on the lifespan of cheese. Like, you can turn, like, it's a dairy product. Like, leave it alone.
Just stacking dairy.
Yeah. Making, like, quesos and, like, cheese sauces are always hysterical to me because you use butter, milk, and cheese. I'm like, I've just put milk on milk with milk in different stages of milk's life, and I've made a sauce. And yeah, dairy's so stupid when you think about it too long. Like, the first person who, like, tried milk, like, who milked a cow and went, I'm gonna drink that.
That's
Like,
a great question.
I understand the
I
thought
really
process of,
wonder.
like, a human does the same thing. Like, a mother would do it to, like, their baby. Like, so, like, I get, like, the thought process of it, but who was like, other animals make this too. I'm gonna try that one. How many
know if I
animals'
want-
milks were tried before we got to,
Well,
like...
we know. Well, people drink goat milk, so we
Yeah.
know at least two.
We got cow and goat, sometimes sheep. But, like,
Really?
I've seen it, like, I've heard of, like, sheep's milk being used, but it's not, like, you're certainly not going to find it in a market basket. But, like, has anyone, like, I don't know, unfortunately, tried, like, a dog's? Like, it sounds so gross, like, but, like, we did it to cows, and that's been normalized.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, clearly, whoever did it a very long time ago. So, like,
Yeah.
I wonder if it was even like, like, I wonder if it happened concurrently with, the first domestication of livestock. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know.
My guess was always it was like a survival situation, which, like, that's pretty understood that, like, a long time ago when people started drinking cow's milk, it was because it was another option for sustenance when, like, there weren't as many options as there are now. And, like, that's why now technically we don't have to be drinking milk or dairy at all because we have so many other better options, but it was a necessity for a while. There's a great food theory on this that I learned all of this stuff from, but yeah, like, that person must have been really desperate to look at the cow and be like,
I do hope that it was for survival or sort of in line with domesticating livestock, because otherwise it's just like, there goes Joe again down the street, trying whatever comes out of his cow. You know? Like, what was that conversation like?
And then, like, the concurrent, like, follow-up conversation when someone discovered cheese, because obviously butter would have already been discovered because you have to get to butter first. But the person who made cheese, who, like, let milk essentially curdle and go bad, turn into a log, and then ate it and was like, this is the best thing in the world. And to this day, in this grand year of 2022, we're making a podcast about one of the best foods in the world. It's spoiled milk.
You know, I feel like some of the best foods were made by accident. Like, if you believe that story that was on every standardized test when you were in elementary school about potato chips being accidental, did you guys get, like, that little passage about potato chips being made and you had to answer multiple choice questions about it?
I got
It was like a
pretzels.
reading response. Yeah, I don't know. It was on like those, I don't, did you guys do those grade tests? Like, it was the word grade, but it had the A was like an A plus. Yeah, it was definitely like some sort of standardized test, but there was always the potato chip passage about how the potato chips were invented because a chef was trying to make like fried potatoes, but he accidentally cut it too thin, and then thus potato chips were created. So, you know, it was a happy accident, or you know.
That's funny because I remember on ours, I don't know if Shannon would remember this or if we got the same story because I think they were randomized for us, was the pretzel story, which is like someone like left the bread in the oven too long and it like essentially burned, and that's how they made pretzels and soft pretzels for the first time. Because like bread was more often like blanched in like something beforehand, which was created the crust. But that's where I learned that. So for some reason, I guess they just put like food discovery stories on those like Scantrons.
Oh, interesting.
I also love like the discovery of popcorn. Just like someone stored or the discover of like that you could microwave popcorn, that like the way the microwave became a food thing is because someone like in NASA or whatever like stored their lunch inside like a device that they were making that had microwaves, and it popped their popcorn. And that's how they discovered that like it could be used in cooking and that you could pop popcorn with it.
I didn't know that story.
Yeah.
Not either, but that's really cool.
I would just like to like also disclaim that I heard this a decade ago from I think what I thought at 12 was a reputable source. So if I'm entirely wrong, it means I've never done any research to prove myself wrong, and I'm so sorry if I've misled anyone, but I've believed that for a very long time. I think Mrs. O'Malley was the one that told me that, who is my 7th grade teacher.
Wow.
So I hope it's the truth.
I hope so too.
I hope so too.
Yeah. I told someone that story once, and then afterward I told them like how microwaves work, which is like it targets specifically water molecules in food, which is why things either dry out or get soggy because it's attacking like water specifically, and that's what heats up your food. And that person immediately responded with, "You know way too much about microwaves." It's like, you know what? Yeah, fair.
I was just about to say, you're coming at us with all the fun facts. I don't know any of this. But it is very microwave specific, so I don't know what that says about this.
Yeah.
But, wow. Well, this was delightful. I think we have some questionable things to try.
Yeah.
Ricotta by itself, Cheeto mac and cheese, whatever else was mentioned along the way.
The
I'll have
feta
to go back
pasta.
and listen. The feta pasta.
pasta, yep. A
was
pizza
gonna be good.
stone. Gotta get one of those.
Mm-mm.
Yep. So, if any of you listening would like to try any of those things, proceed with caution, but good luck. Maybe you'll find some good cheesy things in there.
And do tell us about it.
Do tell us about it, yes. Wherever comment section feels relevant. But other than that, have a good night, everyone.
Haha. I'm also going to put in a disgusting self-plug at the end of this. As of the time of this going up, my shop has opened. So if you want to go look at what Simmer actually is, it opened yesterday. The links are probably in the description. If not, go to Instagram, which is definitely in the description. Okay, thanks. Bye. Sorry.